It was very early in the morning and I was on my commute to class. I'm tired, got a headache, just got off the bus and I'm headed down the escalator to get to the subway. In the distance, I hear a lot of yelling. I reach the bottom of the escalator and way down the hall I see a man on the floor, another man on top of him, and a woman's just standing there screaming at him to stop and screaming for help. A crowd was starting to form, nosy old ladies and people with their phones out trying to record everything that was happening. Were walking down the hall trying to get a better view, and a couple people at the bottom of the escalator had their phones out trying to call 911. It is way too early in the morning for this, and I have a rule, just go in the opposite direction of where the crazy is, not towards it. I've seen enough movies to know that like nosy bystanders and people trying to record are always like the first to go. I mean, like, your life is not worth any little internet clout you're gonna get out of recording that, you know what I mean? I make it a good distance away from everything that was happening, and then I hear some lady scream, "Run! He's coming with a knife!" I hear hordes of footsteps behind me. I already have a head start, so I book it down the hall, through the subway turnstiles and down the escalator. Behind me, people were starting to get jammed at the turnstiles, panicking, struggling to get in. I hear the subway doors.
Please stand clear of the doors.
I book it. I dive through the doors as they close, and the subway leaves. I look around. Oh man, that was crazy. Can you believe what just happened? Oh my gosh. Can't believe we got out of there. Me and a couple other smart people that got a head start were trying to catch our breath. Everyone else is looking around confused, not knowing what just happened upstairs. See, I don't consider myself a paranoid person, but it's because of stuff like this that every time I'm out in public, I always think about, like, if something crazy happened right now, what would I do to get out of this situation? If like suddenly some form of apocalypse like Fallout or The Last of Us happened, would I be able to survive? What would I do? Like if I was on the subway and like zombies showed up?
Yes, hello everyone. The subway's gonna be delayed now, so we're just gonna hold here for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, I'm screwed.
The next station is North York Center. North York Center Station. Doors will probably not open for a while.
Well, there's no escape. It's a lose-lose. You're trapped on the subway. So I asked my friends, if you were at the very beginning of an apocalypse, let's say for example like a zombie apocalypse, what would be the most ideal place for you to be that isn't your home, and what would you do? So my friend Chris said, as far north as possible. The further the better, colder the better, because scientifically zombies are just dead flesh with no blood pumping through them, so they probably won't even be that far north, and they'll probably just freeze, and you can just wait them out. The only thing you need to worry about is regular people, which is just like everyday life. But that's no fun, so moving on. Nelson said grocery store because their first thought was food. They need food to survive, and the moment an apocalypse hits, you just need to loot up shopping carts full of food and book it out of there. And honestly, like if you think about it, you could probably like fort up inside a grocery store and survive there for a while if you just wait out the beginning part of the apocalypse. But that's only like if there was no one else around. That would be like the most ideal situation. Here's the thing, right? People kind of suck. The last time we had like a worldwide inconvenience, it showed how people would actually act. So like we know everybody's gonna be heading to the grocery store, buying everything out, looting it all, taking all the toilet paper and the food. And have you seen how crazy people are like with Pokemon cards at Costco? If they're willing to fight and go crazy over something like that, imagine what all the scalpers would do when they needed food. So now being someone inside a grocery store at the start of an apocalypse, you need to deal with the panicking people inside, the people outside trying to get in, and people trying to scalp food. So now like the whole crowd inside the grocery store is like a stinky anime convention, People are fighting. You think you're even gonna be able to get weeks worth of food? You'll probably only be able to make it out of there with like one can of food. Well, on the topic of like forting up inside a grocery store and surviving in there, Sophie suggested IKEA. Because, all the rooms are there. It's like a big hotel. You can start a whole society later on. And they have like food there too. In my opinion, I don't think IKEA is that good of an idea because IKEA is already like a maze with entrances and exits only at like two ends of the store. Yeah, you have all the IKEA food and comfortable rooms, but like the moment anything happens, everything in the middle part of IKEA is screwed. Would you survive the beginning of the apocalypse? Yeah, probably. Just like, you know, play hide and seek in the showrooms and you could probably wait out the chaos. But afterwards, there's not much inside an IKEA that would help you fight your way out besides like table legs and Jungelskogs. Now, Katie said Home Depot. It pretty much has all the stuff you need to survive early on. Lots of wood, metal, you could build traps, and that impenetrable fort to keep all the baddies away. You're basically playing Fortnite in real life. You also got stuff like shovels, garden shears, 2x4s, and they also got power tools? Honestly, everything you really need to fight your way out is there. Unfortunately, no food, but the important part is surviving the beginning, and the details in the middle of the apocalypse can just, you know, come later. You know, after you make your way past the beginning where most people would fail at anyways. Ash said they would probably just go to the light and lamp section of Home Depot, like a moth to a flame, and just, I don't know, stare at the lights. You'd probably think they would be the first to go, but honestly, no one is really going into the light section unless you're like that one guy looking for light bulbs. Zombies will probably be going towards like the larger crowd of people where all the chaos and panicking is happening. So I'm sure Ash would probably survive the beginning of the apocalypse through my logic of, you know, walking away from the crazy, and then they just need, you know, a friend to come pick them up when the dust settles. Would probably need to be hard carried through the rest of the apocalypse, but you know, would definitely survive the beginning. Oh, lamp. Marissa said Walmart and go straight to the camping section as soon as things go crazy. You know, grab all the camping stuff you need, quickly piece out of there before things start to ramp up. Then head straight into a forest somewhere away from civilization. Become a forest lady, live off the land, live out their cottagecore dreams. Which is like a pretty good plan because we all know from TV shows and movies, the worst part of the zombie apocalypse are the people, not the zombies. So why not piece out of there, give yourself that head start, and just get away from everyone before, you know, people start going crazy. Well, you want to know what my most ideal place to be is at the start of an apocalypse? That would be Bass Pro Shop. Not sponsored, but you know, Bass Pro Shop has everything I really need for supplies. They got camping supplies, they got all that food, all the camo clothes I need to hide and blend in, and most importantly, weapons. Mostly like the hunting stuff like knives, bows, but you know, still effective. So in my head, you know, assuming I survive, the dream plan would be loot up a Bass Pro Shop, peace out away from civilization, start a farm, and live out the rest of my cozy farming lifestyle. Cause, you know, let's be honest, humanity's screwed anyways. Might as well play Stardew Valley Zombie Edition in real life with whatever time I have left. Anyways, that's pretty much it for today. I am in no way a survival expert, so please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below if I got anything wrong. Where would you ideally like to be at the start of an apocalypse, and what would you do? Let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, don't forget to give it a like, give it a share, and subscribe if you like the stuff that I make. And that's pretty much it. Bye!